Hi, I'm Case Lowe, co-host of the Open the Voice Gate podcast. The one question I'm constantly asked when it comes to Dragon Gate is, how do I get into the promotion? Well, stop asking and start listening to the Open the Voice Gate podcast, released every Wednesday on the Voices of Wrestling podcasting network. For exclusive news and show reviews, look no further than the leader in Dragon Gate coverage, Open the Voice Gate.
This podcast is a member of the Voices of Wrestling podcasting network. Visit voicesofwrestling.com to hear the rest of our great podcasts, as well as show reviews, columns, opinions, and updates across the world of wrestling.
Here we go! Baby, kiss me like a love song. So that mama call me. Whoa, whoa, 君へ片思い涙の失恋も Give me fire, give me that what I desire.
You're listening to the Emerald Flow Show on the Voices of Wrestling podcast network.
Welcome to episode 65 of the Emerald Flow Show. We're a podcast on the Voices of Wrestling podcast network. You can follow us on X at Emerald Flow Show, and you can listen to us on all of your favorite podcast apps. And if you listen to us on Apple Podcasts, leave us a 5-star review, and you can go to voicesofwrestling.com/donate to donate to the show if you're feeling very generous. I'm Gerard here with Paul. And Paul, we said we'd come back because I knew we'd have a lot to talk about. And guess what?
Yeah. There was actually a lot to talk about. Yeah, I'm looking at the run sheet. It's actually quite long.
And it's funny because I didn't think it was going to be, but it turned out that there is lots to talk about.
Yeah.
How are you feeling about all of this before we dive in without giving away any specifics?
I feel positive about a lot of the things that have been happening.
I think we have a pretty positive show for all the companies that we're about to cover today.
Well, maybe not all. Maybe I have slight different feelings about, I think, our first topic, but let's see when we get there.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, we'll start to finish our coverage of the King of DDT tournament. So they have that show on May 26th at Corkin Hall in front of 1,005 fans, which they call the no vacancy.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that seems to be their setup now, that they can call it, like, it definitely feels very wrong to call a show that barely managed to beat 1,000 people a no vacancy.
Yeah.
Like, I know Corkin,
Well,
you can't put less people in Corkin now, but I don't think like stuff has declined this badly where you need to do this kind of stuff.
Well, no, it's interesting because that All Japan number we'll get to later, that's every seat sold, and then they opened up a few tickets for standing room, although I don't know how many of those they sold.
Yeah. Because I think like what you can get in there is like around 1,400 now.
Just in the seats?
I think just the seats, yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So them being like, yeah, no, like 400 people short of that is like a no vacancy is, I don't know. I guess if you just do a very small setup and then you can pretend that you sold every seat that you put on offer, you can call it a no vacancy. But also didn't seem like there was a lot of like desire for more people to get in, so that you should have opened more seats.
Yeah. Well, that's funny because we were just talking about this before we started recording. Is like, well, we don't really have much to say about the rest of the card outside of the
No.
I mean, it was your standard DDT fare. I mean, there was a three-way tag match that ended in 5 seconds.
I mean, I did like, I mean, obviously that's like a standard thing. What I did like about that one is like the only thing on the undercard is that they basically like the match ended before Naya and Masada even made their entrance. Because basically Hirata got pinned as like Naya and Masada were like walking out and they're like, what the fuck, wait, the match is already over, and then they restarted it. I actually thought that was kind of funny, but then otherwise there was really nothing on the undercard there.
No. But we'll start with the King of DDT semifinal, which is the second match of the show. Mao defeated Kazusada Higuchi at 11:43 with the II kick. I don't even know how to say it. The II kick. This was quite good, I thought. And honestly, I'm not that surprised at the result of this match either.
Oh, no, I did kind of expect Mao to go. Like, once he like got deeper into the tournament, I felt there was like time for him.
But I mean, I thought this was still quite good. I mean, this is about Mao trying to prove himself to be able to hang with like a big bruiser and power guy like Higuchi. And I thought, both guys look great. There was some, lots of chops and everything like that. And I thought Mao carried himself well, like he can like hang at this level. Yeah,
no, I really like this one as well. This was my favorite match of the show. Well, I don't think that's very controversial. And yeah, no, I agree as well. Like exactly that. It was like very much like Mao, like not just showing that he can survive against someone like Higuchi, but that he can actually like go toe to toe with him. So I thought that I thought that did a lot to establish him at that level. Also, again, I wasn't surprised with the result of it either. The one thing I didn't like though is that it was like the shortest of all of the like tournament matches on the show, when it was very clearly the best one and it got the least amount of time, where I feel like you could maybe like reverse the times for like this and the next match.
Well, it's interesting because like obviously I think Mao can hang, but I didn't think the finish was like super decisive. It was like he countered a lariat and got the 2 kicks and quick pin type thing too. But yeah, I mean, still that it was, but it didn't seem like a fluke either. But I think actually I would love a more extended program between these two because I think they work very well together. So definitely. And then next up in the semifinal, no DQ, which was essentially a death match, not just a no DQ match. Daisuke Sasaki defeated Chris Brooks in 13:48 with the LS Culero. Look, I think Brooks worked hard here.
Yeah.
He beat here and he bled. And then, Sasaki just sort of rolled him up, even though like Brooks was in control for most of this match.
Yeah, this was such a weird match structure. I mean, I also agree that like Brooks tried hard, but there's just nothing there anymore with Sasaki. Because at least like previously, right? Like at least you could be like, okay, he's pretty decent at these kind of like hardcore matches or like deathmatch type stuff as well. But I don't think he's even that good at this stuff anymore. He basically did almost nothing in this match. Like it was just Chris Brooks just bouncing around him essentially. Well, Sasaki just kind of stood there.
It's funny you mention all this because I think we might differ on the main event.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You actually liked it? Okay.
I did. So we'll just go to that. In the final, Mao defeated Daisuke Sasaki in 23:45 with the Cannonball 450. I thought this was a good match. I mean, a little slow to begin, but I thought they built to something decent by the end. Actually, pretty good by the end.
I mean, I will say Sasaki was a lot better here than he was in the match against Brooks.
Yeah.
Because he actually like did something, basically. Yeah, instead of just kind of nothing.
And Matt was working hard here because obviously this is his big moment and everything like that.
Yeah. No, I don't disagree with that, but I was also like disappointed because I just have higher standards for final.
Okay,
I think was my thing. Like I was like kind of expecting something that is like a bit further on. Like
this is not the Champion Carnival. This wasn't even like some of the past King of DDTs.
Yeah.
Like the year that Higuchi won.
Yeah, the year that Brooks won when he beat Higuchi.
Yeah, oh yes, that's right. Yes, last year's.
Yeah. Like that was an excellent match as well, and this just wasn't on that level.
No.
And I think a death match can get there as well, but like I don't think 2024 Daisuke Sasaki can get there. That's the problem.
No.
So like let's say like theoretically, right? Because I don't want to give the impression that I didn't like it because it was a deathmatch, because I do like death matches. But like let's say you put like Masashi Takeda instead of Daisuke Sasaki in there, then I think that match can actually get to like that like Higuchi versus Brooks level.
Sure.
So
No question.
yeah. So I didn't think it was a horrible match. I was just disappointed because this was the final, essentially. Like that's really was my thing. Where I was like, it was fine, and at the end of the day, I guess it was the right person to win, but I still was like whelmed. Like I don't want to say I was underwhelmed, because like once I knew it was like Daisuke Sasaki in there, it's not like I went in there with like high expectations. But I was whelmed is the best way of putting it. It fulfilled my expectations, which weren't exactly high.
Right. Yeah. If this was a semifinal, I think it would have been good.
Oh yeah, no. If you actually like, if you turn this around, right? Yeah, I don't know if it's Mao beats like Daisuke Sasaki here, and then he faces like Chris Brooks in the final. I would probably feel very differently. Or if you do like Mao versus Higuchi as the final, and give that like a decent amount of time. Actually, that makes a lot of more sense as well, because then like Higuchi can get his win over Brooks back from last year, and then he faces Mao in the final, and Mao like vanquishes Higuchi as like the big boss. Makes way more. Anyway, yeah, whatever. That's not what they did. What they did, I mean, it made sense, but yeah.
Well, I think they wanted. Look, whatever you want to say about him, Daisuke Sasaki has a certain cachet as a certain like.
He does.
Legacy name in DDT type thing too.
But again, like I feel like the same thing whenever like Big Japan puts Abdullah Kobayashi in a big spot. I'm like, I get it, he's a legend, but he's just not that good anymore. Can we just admit that?
Paul, when you say legend, and I can't see you, but are you doing like the Dr. Evil like quotation fingers?
No. In this case, I actually, because I think he is a DDT legend, right?
Okay,
like
fair
that's
enough.
why he has that cachet. I wouldn't call him like a legend of Japanese wrestling in general, but he's definitely for DDT. I would say he is one of their most like, well, maybe not most legendary guys, but he's definitely like I feel confident in calling Daisuke Sasaki a like DDT legend at least.
Yep, that's fair. And then so just a couple of notes, because we were promised 2 announcements on the show. First announcement, which is actually the second announcement that they made on the show after the show, there's a DDT photo book. So you can look out for that. And the announcement they sort of made at intermission time, or like in the middle of the show, they're doing Masato Tanaka versus Konosuke Takeshita at Peter Pan, alongside obviously Mao versus Yuki Ueno for the KOD title. Paul, what do you think of this Peter Pan card so far?
I mean, I like Mao versus Ueno, because I think they're like the two, like outside of Endo, right? These are like the 2 best guys that they have at the moment, and Higuchi. But like I feel like both feel like relatively hot at the moment, so I think it does make sense. Tanaka with Takeshita doesn't do a whole lot for me.
Okay. Well, they already had they've already had matches when Tanaka was the KOD champion. Like,
exactly.
2 or 3 years ago now.
That's the other thing. Like, it's not like a, like Minoru Suzuki versus Keno. It's like these 2 facing off for the very first time. So it's just kind of a random match, because they've had matches together, but it's not like I would call them like that they had like that much cachet that it would be like a draw to like see these 2 face off again. And it just seems like we got a date on Takeshita for the show. Who are we going to put him against? Masato Tanaka, why not?
Well, I see it as, and I just sort of see it smartly too, is like, we don't know when, even though Takeshita is whatever they're doing with him in AEW, is they probably just can't drop him out whenever they want, right? Otherwise, like, Mao or Ueno would have beaten him by now. So, but they want him on the show because he's a name. So they're giving him like, and this is the same thing with, they had him against Yuma Aoyagi. They have him against Masato Tanaka. So in this regard, it's like, well, this is like what we can do with him, having him fight outsiders, because we don't want to like have him beat all of our guys like a drum and not have someone be able to sort of get their win back of among our guys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I can definitely see that. It just like that's the full thing, right? But like Takeshita is in DDT still kind of in a weird way, but he feels completely like divorced from the rest of the promotion.
Yeah, he's in his own like Takeshita verse.
Yeah, essentially that's what he is, because as you pointed out, like he can't really job the way other guys can.
Yeah.
So like what do you actually do with him? But he is kind of your biggest star still.
Yep.
In a weird way. So you have to put him on the show if you can get him. Yeah, it's a very bizarre situation. But I mean, what we can say is a positive, right? Because with like Cyberfight announcing this whole like, we want to work with WWE, it at least seems like it hasn't impacted Takeshita being on DDT shows, at least so far.
Yeah, it's not going to.
Yeah, especially because the whole relationship isn't really going to turn into anything.
I mean, they say he has a dual contract, so I don't know what that actually means, and how
I'm so shocked.
How powerful this DDT contract is.
I mean that too, and also DDT not learning its lesson from the Ibushi dual contract.
Yeah, of course. Anyway, so those are the only two. So the only two matches for Peter Pan, and that's on July 21st at Sumo Hall. So we jump over to Pro Wrestling Noah with their recent shows, and so we start with Sunny Voyage 2024 on May 26th at Kobe Sumo Hall in front of 780 fans, which is no vacancy, which I actually think is decent given what this card was, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, you had a title match, and because you see like what some of these, like, because Dragon Gate obviously runs it super regularly, and they run it with like complete house show cards where they draw like significantly less than that. So I feel like I think they actually drew like double of what like Dragon Gate draws there on average. So I do think it's a decent number they got there.
So first off, Shuji Kondo and Ada defeated Starboy Charlie and Yu Owada in 9:34 with Imperial Uno from Ada on Owada. Solid opener. Charlie did a lot of flying, and then Owada did his like valiant like upstart young guy act, so it was a lot of fun. Titus Alexander defeated LJ Cleary in 10 minutes and 47 seconds with the Big Ugly. Paul, this is so funny because like just a couple of minutes after this match, I'm like, wow, Alexander's performance in this was great. I loved how he also was like took the time to mock Cleary at points to get like laughs from the crowd and everything. He looked great here. I can't remember a single thing LJ Cleary did in this match.
Oh, poor LJ.
And like, look, and I was just thinking about it. I was like, look, I mean, he's not bad. I'm not like he stinks it up, but he's just incredibly unremarkable.
Yes. No, I mean, that's always been the thing.
And that's amplified when he's in there against Titus Alexander.
Yeah. Like LJ, when he came up on the Irish scene, like basically, right, because he was in a faction more than hype. And basically within the faction, he was the mouthpiece. Like his strength was always that he was like the talker amongst the three of them, and the other two were like the clearly more like talented in-ring guys. It's just that those two have retired. And obviously him being a good promo doesn't really like
so he is a good
across.
Promo.
Yeah, he is actually a pretty good promo,
Okay. But not exactly necessarily the place for that.
Exactly, that's the problem. It's also because he's in a faction with Jake, who does all of the talking, and then the only other guy who ever gets promo time is like Jack Morris, like screaming things into the microphone.
Yes, the Jack Morris promo, which is funny. And then next up, Go Shiozaki and Mohamed Yone defeated Shuhei Taniguchi and Daiki Inaba in 12 minutes and 44 seconds with the strong arm lariat from Shiozaki on Taniguchi. This was a perfectly solid match, and Shiozaki and Taniguchi chopped the crap out of each other a bunch. So you can visualize that, I think, actually.
I have a feeling. I didn't watch the show, but I have a feeling that I know exactly how this match went.
Oh yeah, it was like a solid match with lots of Go and Taniguchi like chopping each other. Then Naomichi Marufuji, Takashi Sugera, and Uka Sasaki defeated Jake Lee, Jack Morris, and Anthony Green in 1949 when Marufuji used the Shiranui on Green. This was a fun little match. This is obviously building what we've got coming up with a match that I'm really looking forward to, which is Morris and Green versus Marufuji and Sugera. And honestly, Paul, one of my favorite parts of this match was actually Jake Lee and Sasaki doing like grappling.
Ooh, I mean, yeah, makes sense, right? They're both former
Actually,
MMA guys.
Yeah, and I thought they actually worked really well together too, which was a nice little. I mean, they did that all at the beginning and everything, but I thought they looked well. And the one thing I noticed that, as opposed to necessarily, how shall I put this, like the actual ring work, I feel like Sasaki is like just the way he walks the ring and carries himself in the ring has more like gravitas or anything like that. Like he's like, learning how to project just as simply his presence too.
Which is incredibly important.
Yes, especially when you're against a bigger guy like Jake.
Yeah. I mean, just look at how much better the Saitos became simply by like projecting well.
Yes, exactly. And then GHC Junior Heavyweight Tag Team title, Yohei and Tadasuke defeated Atsushi Katoge and Hiroki in 19 minutes and 4 seconds with a drop kick from Yohei on Hiroki to make their 7th defense of the titles. Damn. That
kind of snuck up on me. I didn't realize that they were this many defenses deep already.
They're giving them how many days has it been here? It's only been 150 days.
Yeah, so they're really like rushing through these as well.
They're just feeding them defenses.
I'm wondering, do we know who has like the defense record for these titles?
I probably Kenta and Marufuji.
Probably. I mean, you can talk about the match and I can kind of like see if I can find it.
Yeah. So basically, I mean, this was a solid match. I would go like 3 3/4. Sort of what you expect from these teams. And like Katoge and Hiroki sort of like took the dominated the match like the last quarter of it. And then like all of a sudden, Tadasuke runs in there hitting lariats on everyone. And then, Yohei gets that drop kick to the face for the pinfall. But it was just solid work, right? They didn't reinvent the wheel or anything. This wasn't them against like Let's Go Bedores or anything like that. Just perfectly solid, like junior heavy, fairly fast-paced junior heavyweight wrestling, right? Which I'm sort of not surprised they didn't necessarily go completely balls out on a show like this when they're in the semi-main event in Kobe Sambo Hall or anything like that. But I mean, it's just like, hey, they're a pretty darn good tag team that's quite solid, So I did enjoy the match.
I'm actually looking through it. There aren't actually even that many teams that have even gotten to 7 defenses. Like most of them actually lost it on the 7th defense, like the ones that actually got decently long reigns.
Yeah.
The only one that I've found so far that actually...
Would they really give them their record-breaking defense on a show like that? That just seems...
I mean, well, it wouldn't be record-breaking it. So I did find one. So the Aoki Kotaro Suzuki reign in 2011 to 2012. On that one, they did get to 8 defenses, and then they lost it on the 9th defense to Ricky Marvin and Super Crazy.
Okay.
So they're still one more successful defense away from... Well, they're one successful reign away from tying
the second.
Well, the record I can't find right now. I haven't.
No, the record is Kenta Marufuji, who made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6,
oh yeah. Okay,
7,
I
8.
see it. That's way more.
Kenta Marufuji made 9 defenses.
I have it at. Oh right, because I forgot to the one where they won it.
Yeah.
So that's 9 total defenses. So they're 2 away from tying the record, basically.
Yeah.
Which,
Well,
I mean, given also like, and I mean, Marufuji and Kenta did it over a much longer period of time.
Yeah, they did it in 690 days.
Yeah, and they did it like 100.
Paul, that's like over 4 times as long number of days than like Tadasuke and Yohei have held the titles.
Yeah. Like how long did they hold it again? Yeah, so because like Yohei in total across his 6th reign is at 486 days as champion.
Yeah. That's so funny, yeah.
Yeah, Marufuji is at 2 reigns is at 816 days.
Yeah, I mean, we'll talk about this in a minute. I will talk about this later with All Japan, but I just feel like the companies are like increasing the number of title defenses.
Yeah,
And
it definitely feels like that.
I
mean, it's a drawing thing, right?
It's a drawing thing, but I still feel it's like, I'm used to like, hey, you know what? If you're not going to defend this title for 3 months, that's fine. I don't.
Yeah, I mean, to
Sometimes
be
make
fair,
things feel more grandiose and special.
I agree. As long as like with the main title, I think you can definitely do that, and you should as well to like make it feel special.
Yeah.
But I feel like the junior heavyweight tag titles, I think those are like the perfect titles to just do a ton of defenses just to like spice up some like house show.
Sure.
Like, for example, like that's what Dragon Gate does. Like I think All Japan should do that with like the Giora title. They should do that they should do that a lot more with the All Asia title.
Yeah.
They should do it with the like 6-man titles that they have, because again, Dragon Gate shows that works really well with the Open the Triangle Gate.
Mhm.
Where there's just like open the triangle gate. Like, and there's also like you can just flip the title like frequently as well. Like, it's fine.
Yeah. All right. And then in the main event, Kaito Kiyomiya, Keno, Alejandro, and Cristobal of All Rebellion defeated Masa Kitamiya, Ryohei Oiya, Junta Miyawaki, and Andy Wu, because I think he's the local guy here, in 18 minutes and 30 seconds with a modified Shining Wizard from Kiyomiya on Miyawaki. This was a pretty good match. And there was obviously a lot of focus on Oiwa and Kiyomiya just trying to beat the crap out of each other. But again, I thought, and it's funny, Cristobal was completely unimpressive to me here again. Whereas I thought that Andy Wu and like Alejandro did some good stuff together. So I'm still waiting to be impressed, Cristobal. But it was a good match.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah. But my question as well is, do we just have to write off Junta at this point?
I'm not. I would say probably, but I don't think you completely write him off either.
Because it's been a while now, and it's also like it seems like his motivation, like because he just doesn't get anywhere. So I feel like it's starting to like impact his like.
Oh, he was certainly work. Like when he came back from Mexico or wherever he was, the first time. The first time.
When he actually went to Mexico, yes.
Because
there's still no proof he went the second time.
Yeah. I thought he worked real hard and looked real good, but yeah, he's just sort of he's slotted into like perfectly fine guy. But
yeah,
before he was like this guy.
He felt like the next junior ace.
Yeah.
He absolutely isn't now. Like, yeah.
Well, you never know. Someone might leave or blow out their knee or something. So
yeah,
never write that off. But like, who else they got? Are they going to make Cristobal the junior A? Hey.
Yeah. He also isn't that young either. That's the other thing. He's like the only like actually young guy there.
I mean,
because Alejandro would be one. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Amaska's coming back.
Yeah, but Amaska, like I love him, but he's like 38.
Yeah. But that means like, but that means he could still have like another year or two at the top of the juniors.
Yes, for sure.
Junta's like, ascension, which I don't think is going to happen. I mean, probably won't completely write it off, but I'd be like 70-30. This is his lot.
Yeah.
I think that's
like they just done actually nothing, because like the one thing was like they did something with him coming back from excursion, and then he went on excursion again, and this time I did do the Dr. Evil air quotes. And then he's just been like an absolute non-entity, and it just feels like he's like topping out at like Hajime Ohara levels, for lack of a better comparison.
So that was the show. I mean, honestly, as a house show, as a single cam house show by Noah standards, I thought this was on the better side of the single cam Noah house shows that take 4 days to be put up on.
Yeah, that's the other thing. That's why I didn't watch the show. I literally forgot it happened.
I know. Yeah, exactly. Right. There's like I hate it. And like people have said like, well, it gives like, because most of these shows happen on the weekend. And I think, and someone tried to explain it to me, although I don't know if they actually really know either, but this is the rationale that they were giving. That like, oh, well, it gives them like content to constantly roll out because like, you know, if you did this for all the house shows, you'd be releasing like, you know, every company would have a house, like you'd be releasing like a DDT and a Noah and like a Tokyo Joshi, like house shows, like on every Sunday or something all together. Whereas this is rolling it out, but I don't really see it. Just release it all
Yeah.
at the proper time, right? Or whatever. You got to do some post production, whatever. That's fine. But
Yeah, but do they
All
even really
Japan-
do that? They don't add any like, because All Japan was my example as well, because they don't really add any like backstage like interviews, right?
Well, here's the thing.
No, it doesn't. All Japan has like probably 2 people working. Let's be real. All Japan probably has like 2 people working on All Japan TV.
Yes.
And they put them up same day with the backstage interviews.
They put him up less than 24 hours, maybe around like, you know, 15 to 18 hours with backstage interviews. Now, what I do like about these house shows is that they do it on Wrestle Universe, is that they put them in chapters.
Yes, that actually
Because
does make a big
that
difference.
scroll function is crap.
Yeah.
You know how long it takes to scroll? Like if you turned on a live Korakuen Hall show, like the next day, that was done live on Wrestle Universe.
Mhm.
You only want to watch the main event. You know how fucking long it takes to scroll through that if you're watching it on TV. So you'd have to go to your computer or your phone to like move the tracker. But maybe I want to sit on my TV on my like Android TV Wrestle Universe app and just be able to go to the main event. I can't do that.
I mean, it also doesn't help that they just keep in like the hour of just like entry screen in there every single time.
Well, most shows will start like they'll start at like 40 minutes into it.
They do, because whenever I do it, it just
VOD.
starts me at the beginning of it.
Oh,
then I just
really?
sit. Yeah.
When I was doing the Limit Break show, it started me like 40 minutes in when the show.
No, the Limit Break show, I had to like scroll I have to like find where the show actually starts generally. I generally just go an hour in. Yeah.
Oh, okay. For me, it usually just if you're doing like a VOD of like one of those live shows, it usually does that for me. Okay, that's weird. I didn't know that.
Okay, I mean,
Yes.
to be fair, but you're using like an app for that, right? Maybe that's the.
Maybe.
I don't know. Because I basically like, okay, I have an app that basically allows me to like, I just go to the website and then I use that app to like cast to my TV.
Oh, okay. Maybe
that's the difference. But like, it's still there in the file anyway.
That's interesting. Okay. Yeah. I mean, other than that, in the grand scheme of things, that's a very like, these are very small complaints for what is really the best.
Oh, no, like it's still great. Yeah. And I mean, it still looks amazing. That's the other thing.
Yeah.
Even like these kind of shows.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, then we move on to Noah Limit Break on May 29th at Shinjuku Face, going on the same time as the All Japan Korakuen Hall show, which we'll talk about in a moment. 403 fans. Not bad. Although, look, I'm going to be honest. I think you would think that I thought this show could have hit 500, and I wonder if All Japan affected it.
I would think so, yeah. Because it's happening at the same time. And if like I said, my example always for this kind of stuff is like, if I was there, which show would I pick? And there's no doubt in my mind I would have gone to like All Japan over this. Not missing Kento Miyahara with Yuma Anzai. As much as I like Go Shiozaki, like.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, because spoiler alert, I enjoyed this show. So we start off with Daisuke Sekimoto defeating Yu Owada in 8:31 with the crab hold. I thought this was like exactly what you think it would Daisuke Sekimoto versus Yu Owada would be, right?
Yep.
Owada like did like the running drop kick on him at the bell and everything like that, and then Sekimoto leveled him a bunch of times. Owada fought back and everything like that. But so obviously it's what you expected, but it was a lot of fun type thing, right?
No, yeah, I really like this. It was also good for 2024 Daisuke Sekimoto standards because he has slowed down a lot as well. Also, fun fact to show the T-shirt that he was wearing. I actually have that same T-shirt as well. Maybe also not the greatest sign that like Big Japan guys are still coming out with shirts that like with like the same shirt that I bought like in 2018, I think.
Oh,
So
damn. Yeah, nobody. Only in Big Japan are you wearing your merch that's 6 years old.
yeah, exactly. So, but otherwise, I really like the match. I also like Owada kind of like turning down the handshake afterwards. Like, I think he's showing really good fire.
Mhm. Then next up, Mohamed Yone and Yuto Kikuchi defeated Shuji Shikawa and Black Mensa Ray in 12:29 with the Muscle Buster from Yone on Mensa Ray, which I thought was a sort of an upset because I thought Kikuchi might be able to, take the pin here because he's just a lowly Dotonbori pro guy. And I'm actually sort of curious what the connection is because Harutoki, who's in the next match, is also a Dotonbori pro guy, and they've been working like Limit Break, and they're going to be working other Limit Break shows. So I'm sort of curious how they ended up on these shows, considering they're coming from Osaka to do these shows.
Like, I would get it if they were on these shows when they like working some random shot in Osaka, but them actually coming up to Tokyo is interesting, and maybe like Noah is trying to get a bit more into like the Osaka market, which I don't think they've ever really tried to do.
Well, they have the N1 finals there now, and I think that was a conscious decision to do that.
Actually, true. So what you're saying is it's only a matter of time until we get Zeus on one of these shows, right? That's not me just being that's not just me being hopeful yet.
Well, I don't know what the relationship is like, because if you go back, Dotonbori Pro is clearly like a offshoot of Osaka Pro. But it started in like 2012, 2013, when obviously Osaka Pro was in its like, whatever it was, like running
kinda like dead, not really dead, questionable. Yeah.
Running once and twice a year, and like Yohei and them and Hayata and them had all just left. And like if you look at the early Dotonbori Pro cards, like Yohei and Hayata are on them, type thing. So I don't know who owns it, and I don't know if there's bad blood between them and Osaka Pro people or whatever. But it's sort of in that sort of extended Osaka Pro universe type thing, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, maybe this is also just like Hayata and Yohei getting their friends some bookings as well.
Oh yeah, that could be it too. Or Kotoge.
Actually, it would be Kotoge. Actually, yeah.
Sorry, the match. I thought this was a fun little match. I feel like Yone works harder on these Limit Break shows than he does on regular no too. Even
very much does
matches. Which I thought helped and everything like that. And then next up,
he threw some very stiff lariats as well in this one, like even more so than normally.
It's probably also good working with Shuji.
Yeah.
And then next up, Tetsuya Endo and Yuki Ino defeated Hiroki and Harutoki in 12:38 with a Burning Star press from Endo on Harutoki. And I thought that, again, like the second match, a good, solid little match. Ino and Endo, sneaky good tag team this year that I don't think a lot of people are talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a match from them.
Same. I think I might have to, when we because we're probably not that far away from actually doing our awards again.
Right.
Our summer format.
Awards.
Yes. I might actually have to do like a bit of a rewatch of them because, well, okay, let's be real. I know what my tag team of the year is going to be, or tag team of the, well, whatever. Let's just call it tag team of the year, is going to be this time around. But I'm still at least, I need to rewatch them a little bit to at least give them a fair consideration.
And then next up, I think one of the most eagerly awaited matches on the show, Akiyama defeated Atsushi Kotoge in 18 minutes and 14 seconds with a wrist clutch exploder. I thought this was an interesting match. They tried to give Kotoge a bunch, and it was him in June, they kicked each other a lot in this match. And it's sort of obviously a bit of blood feud might be too strong a word, but I mean, they were obviously hyping it up and everything like that. And wanted to show that Akiyama's pissed, even though I was gonna say young upstart, but like Katoga's like 38 years old.
Yeah, I was about to say.
But it had that vibe,
Yes.
and in the end, Akiyama got pissed, pulled down the knee pad, gave a couple of brutal looking knees to Katoge, and then a wrist clutch exploder to get the win. So I thought it was pretty good. I think Akiyama's performance was what I was expecting. I thought Katoge, wanted to go for this weird sort of like, well, I'm going to strike back on Akiyama, whereas I was expecting Katoge to be a little more explosive doing Katoge things, if that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm. No, he was working a lot slower than I was expecting him
Yeah.
to. Like, it seemed like he was trying to match Akiyama's speed, basically.
But I don't think it was because Akiyama's like 50, whatever he did, because I think it's like they want to structure the match of them just kicking the crap out of each other.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, like same. Like, I don't think it was like he was trying to match his speed because he thought that Akiyama wouldn't be able to keep up otherwise. It was more like he was trying to work like Akiyama.
Yeah. But I still thought it was a pretty good match, and I think it got across the story very well. And already they're doing, what is it? Let me see here. So June.
It's on a DDT show, yeah.
Yeah, it's on a DDT show. So it's like Katoge, Tomomitsu Matsunaga, and Jun Akiyama versus Yuya Kuroku, Yuki Ino, and Tetsuya Endo. So Katoge is sitting under the Akiyama learning tree now.
Yeah, young boy Katoge. Well, I mean, I like the story, but like what we were talking about earlier, like just think about how much someone like Junta Miyawaki would benefit from doing this exact same story.
Yeah.
And I like Katoge, but it's just kind of weird that he's being treated like a young boy when he's nearly 40.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's like the most mind-boggling part of this, right? You could put someone else in this story, but like he's also like the youngest guy in.
He's the youngest guy in Team Noah, so it does make some degree. And I do like the story, so I don't want to like say it's a bad one. I just really like it. I just think there's other people that would benefit more from getting this treatment, basically.
Absolutely. And then next up we had Kazuyuki Fujita, Yoshitatsu, and Genta Yubari defeating Kazusada Higuchi, Yukio Naya, and Tomomitsu Matsunaga in 21-42 with a kick to the face from Fujita on Matsunaga. Okay, a couple of points here. This one's a little too long. That being said, I'm actually more hyped for Higuchi versus Fujita now after this.
Yes.
Because they really did some of those forearms, damn, from Fujita, holy shit, on Higuchi and everything like that. So from that regard, yeah, you could have cut 5 minutes off of this, but you did get me hyped for the match. So it's in that regard, right?
This is the most hyped I've been for a Fujita match in a long, long time.
Yes, absolutely.
Like I am really into this. Like I really hope that Fujita's up to play ball, but it seems like he's respecting Higuchi, so I think that makes me hopeful it's gonna be good. The
last time I was this hype for a Fujita match, they didn't deliver because he got COVID and was going to be Go. His match with Go.
Yeah. That was really unfortunate. Yeah, they would never ran that back either.
No. So whatever. That's unfortunate. But yeah, I mean, well, I know why they didn't run that back, because he's like, I got sick.
Yep.
Sick. Dr. Evil Air quotes. And he wasn't gonna do the job for Go again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which would have been his second straight job to Go, probably too.
Yeah. Definitely. Well, I mean, but then again, now not even like Akitoshi Saito is willing to drop to Go. So how the mighty have fallen.
Well, let's talk about this main event. Akitoshi for the 0-1 World Heavyweight Championship. Akitoshi Saito versus Go Shiozaki went to a time limit draw. Paul, actually, you go first because I want to hear what your thoughts are on this, because I want to see if we're on the same wavelength here, because we may or may not be.
Probably, maybe not from the way you introduced it, because I thought this was just way too long. I thought I really wanted to like this match, and it just never really grab me in like a meaningful way. And also, like, especially once I realized that they were going for a draw as well, I was like, oh my god, no, really, we're doing a draw here. And I was actually kind of hyped because I really kind of wanted Shiozaki to win as well, because I thought it was like a nice thing to give like a Saito like a singles reign or whatever. But like he shouldn't be having like lengthy singles matches at this point in his career. And yeah, to me, it just kind of dragged a whole lot. And I would have just really like Go to win this title because I think there just would be a lot more interesting stuff to do with him than there is with Saito.
Yeah,
but I have a feeling you might have liked it.
I liked it. It is like a guilty pleasure or a personal favorite. Like I would go like 3 3/4 on this match. The weaknesses are obvious, and there's like bizarre things like that. Whatever, like what was it, like a bazillion Uranagis from Saito onto Go, and he didn't even cover.
Felt
him.
like half the moves he did in this match.
But look, they chopped the crap out of each other, and Go selling here was fantastic. Yes, it was long, and Saito should not be going 30 minutes at 58 years old. But he did the match the right way, and doing the accidentally hitting the ring post with his arm so Saito could work over the arm. I mean, that was basically how you were going to fill up 30 minutes too. I just thought they really kicked the crap out of each other. And to me, it harkened back. Like they talked about this on the flagship too. They liked it. They both liked it. Both Rich and Joe, because it was just like, a harking back to just guys kicking the crap out of each other for like 20, 30 minutes. And so from that regard, I liked it. And I'll say what they said. I can't recommend this to anyone, especially if you've only been watching. Let me put it this way. I don't want to sound like an old gatekeepery guy, but if you've only been watching New Japan since like 2015 or 2016, I don't think this match is for you. If you've been watching Pearl for almost 25 years like I have, it hits me on a different level, I think. Again, it makes it sound like it was some match of the year candidate, but it's not even close. But this is my rationale for getting a kick, enjoying it while enjoying this match, right? And also, Shiozaki can't win because who's going to beat him for it? Are they going to They're not going to let Takuya Sugawara beat Go Shiozaki for the title.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, at this point, I feel like you can have Go take a loss. I don't think it's that bad anymore. I mean, you just had him go to a time limit draw with Akitoshi Saito. Yeah, losing to Sugawara isn't that much worse.
I don't know. I think it's just a company being protective of their guy. They'd have Saito go before that, right?
I mean, maybe, yeah. I mean, to be fair, these like limit break shows are very much like self-indulgent as well. So this very well could have just been Go and like Saito being like, we always wanted to have like a kind of like, or let's have like one more like big like singles match, basically.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, like I said, I mean, yeah, I don't know. I guess it just really bothered me that I just don't know what we're doing here with the Saito reign. So
no, they don't. No, it's not going anywhere of remotely interesting.
No. And I get maybe that it's hard to like find someone that is no. You know who's believable absolutely to take this title off of Go Shiozaki, because we just talked about him earlier, Masato Tanaka. And I get that that's not the most inspired choice, but still, that's a guy that is believable to take the title off of.
But that really is the only guy.
Yes, but that's just 0-1's problem in general.
Yeah, for sure. So that is the recent Noah shows, and then we have the upcoming shows. I think we talked about this last week, but at the Korakuen Hall show on June 9th, we've added like Yohei and Tadasuke defending against Shuji Kondo and Eita, and of course the as we mentioned, the Amaska return match, and then Kiyomiya and Keno versus Gabe Kidd and Jake Lee. And then
actually, just for quick on that junior tag title match, because we were just talking about the defense record. Yeah. But I do think there is a decent chance that Kondo and Eita win.
Yep. Oh, for sure.
Because Eita just signed the contract, so.
Yep, definitely. And then on June 16th at Buntai, again, Kiyomiya versus Kid, as we talked about last episode, and then Dog and Snowboard Charlie. And then Jack Morris and Anthony Green are defending again. So this is new. As we mentioned earlier, Morris and Green are defending against Naomichi Marufuji and Takashi Sugiura, which I'm really looking forward to. And I mean, I assume if they're giving them more legends to defend against, do you think Morris and Green are winning here?
This is another one where I could very easily see a title switch.
I could too. But it's just like, okay, they're running through legends though, right? Because I mean, even if you put them when they face like Susumu and Mochizuki, and they, it just feels like that, right? And then they obviously face Tenkoji at Sumo Hall and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
So it just feels like they're running through like legends.
I mean, might be, but that also feels like eventually they're gonna like run into one where like they're gonna get beat. So like that very well could be like that they're gonna lose to them, because Marufuji and Sugiura as a team, like they have already been announced for the next Limit Break show, right?
Yeah.
Like what was that match again? I don't remember what match they're having there.
Okay, yeah. So the next Limit Break show is actually Go Shiozaki's 20th anniversary show.
Oh yes.
And the match on that is the main event, which is Go and Akiyama versus Marufuji and Sugiura.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, you could turn that into a title match.
Yeah. Or it doesn't have. It's like a special 20th anniversary match. It doesn't have to be non. It can be non-title.
It doesn't have to be, but it would also be weird if they're. Yep. Go ahead.
On June 9th, it's Jack Morris versus Naomichi Marufuji and Anthony Green versus Sugiura.
So that feels to me like they might be continuing this feud, and that only makes sense if they're like losing the titles.
Yeah. No, that's before the tag title match.
Oh, before. Sorry. Yeah.
But I just wanted to mention that because I'm actually looking forward to both those matches.
Actually, yeah, no, those are. I always like the thing that Noah does, where they have like the individual partners face off against each other.
I have to say, Green versus Sugiura, that's an interesting. I can imagine Morris versus Marufuji, but Green versus Sugiura, that's such an interesting style.
That's a complete styles clash, yeah. Because Jack Morris, in many ways, is someone that has very clearly watched his Naomichi Marufuji tapes.
Sure. Absolutely.
Yeah, Green and Sugiura, though, yeah, that's an interesting clash of styles. But I could feel like if they like have good chemistry, I think that could actually be really good, though.
Yeah, for sure.
Like actually better than Marufuji versus Morris, which is heavily dependent on how Marufuji's knees feel that day.
Well, look, I mean, Marufuji will try if you put him in a position like this, and I think his effort will be tied to how much he respects Jack Morris.
Which it seems like the Noah people in general really like Jack Morris, which also very fair.
Yeah. So I mean, look, Marufuji sort of worked fairly hard for 2024 Marufuji in like some small little venue like the San Francisco Bay Area against Titus Alexander, and they clearly like Titus. So yeah, I'm expecting a decent match between Morris and Marufuji too. So we move on to All Japan Pro Wrestling, which has been on the talk of many people's tongues the last like 48 hours. With their Superpower Series 2024 on May 29th at Korakuen Hall in front of 1,355 fans for a super no vacancy full house. And it sounds like they sold almost every seat because they opened like at the last minute standing room seats. Although I don't know if they sold many of those tickets.
It didn't look super full in the stands or in the like balcony, basically.
Yeah. Like not as packed, like because that Marigold opening show that had people packed into the standing room things on the balcony for sure. Yeah. This one did not.
No. But it was more people up there than there were, for example, for the New Year's show, where the only person up there was Fukuda.
Yes, that's right. President Fukuda obviously watching his promotion crumble apart.
Yeah.
Well, it looked like
I actually took a picture of it. Yeah.
Sad Fukuda. Anyway, so I actually I woke up. I went to bed and woke up early to watch the show at 5:30 a.m. So I did watch the Actress Girls Offer match. It was Natsuki and Nagisa Shiotsuki defeating Marino Saihara and Yui Tenshoku in 9:27 when Natsuki pinned Tenshoku with the cutie special. Paul, I will say this. This was the best actress time match since the Marigold Exodus.
Okay, fair enough. I went and did my dishes, so I didn't
Okay.
watch it.
And I will say, to me, Marino Sahara was the standard of this match, and I think that there's something there with her. But she's
Yeah, I
like
mean,
one
they're
of
all
those,
like still pretty young as well, right?
yeah. Well, she's also a part-time actress, so who knows like how serious she is about wrestling, but there's something there. So to start off the show officially, Shotaro Ashino and Ren Ayabe defeated Hokuto Omori and Kuma Rashi in 9 minutes and 47 seconds with a death roulette from Ayabe on Omori. Solid opener. Nice, always nice to see Kuma. Paul, we'll talk about more about this later in the show, but with some of the moves that have been made on the show, I feel like poor Hokuto really is
Yeah,
found himself at the bottom of the card now.
yes, very much so. I mean, I think his one saving grace, as bad as that sound, is that horse guy is still a thing.
Yes, it is his one saving grace.
Because we still have that like mystery of who that actually is out there. Who knows if that will ever be paid off?
Well, okay, let's talk about this now. New Nakajima video he put out on his social media. It's him sitting under a bridge, abject poverty, in the robe, and then a car pulls. I didn't even check what car it was. I think it looked like a nice car. Pulled up. Someone came out, handed him a red envelope, and stuffed a bunch of yen in his like little cup that he's using for money, like a big fat stack of yen too. And so it was an invitation somewhere. Paul, what do you think?
I'm still sticking with him coming back to All Japan.
Okay. A couple of quick asides. Dominion is a little over a week, and I assume they're doing the G1 announcement there. B, El Desperado has his Despy Invitational.
Yeah,
right?
but that's not like the big money thing. It's like going to like Despy's Proto show.
No, I know. Although, you know what? Nakajima working Despy's show as a swerve and then coming back to All Japan wouldn't be a bad idea.
Oh, actually, that would be absolutely be like the type of thing he would do, and the type of thing El Desperado would also be 100% in favor of.
But
actually, that would make a ton of sense.
I'm still leaning All Japan return.
Yes. I think it's just going to be a straight return.
But when is that Despy Invitational? Because I think, though, that is a great idea because it's enough.
Don't remember when it is.
I don't know. Is it in July though? Because that actually might be too far. Because that actually might be too far in the future. Because I think if you're running this angle, you're coming back soon.
Yeah. Now he has to kind of come. Well.
Oh yeah, it's Monday, June 10th.
Oh, so that is very soon. So he could just work that one, and then that gives him a little bit more time until he like returns to All Japan.
Yeah. Again, we don't know.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying it would be a good swerve.
Yeah, because if he's coming back, I think he's the guy taking a title off of Anzai.
Well, I think so too. Well, there's one other guy that might be, but we'll talk about that in a moment.
Oh, is it Darkside Kuroshio, Tokyo, Japan?
Well, I'll look into that. Next up, AJPW TV 6-man tag team title. Suwama, Mayumi Ozaki, and Meiya Yukihi defeated Hideki Suzuki, Zones, Chi-Chi in 11 minutes and 40 seconds when Yukihi used the whirlwind on Zones. And the champions made their second successful defense. But Paul, it was great to see Evolution back here. It was actually great to see Ozaki and Yukihi back here. Paul, this match had everything. This match had Hideki coming out and dancing to Barbie Girl.
Yes. That was probably my favorite. Well, aside from the main event, that was my favorite moment of the show.
But also, like, it had, like, Suwama getting heel heat.
Yeah.
By threatening violence against women. But did you hear the pop when Zones reversed that power bomb?
Yeah, like she was super
pops
over.
The show. outside of the main event. I also love the fact that after the match, Chi-Chi kept trying to attack Suwama.
Yep. Like, you motherfucker, you like abandoned us for a couple of months.
Yeah, exactly, type thing.
No, I also love
So-
the kind of difference in styles where it's like the challenger team comes out to I'm a Barbie girl, and then the song ends and it's just like the fucking like Mayumi Ozaki like metal hits afterwards.
Yeah. Oh, anyway, this was a lot of fun. You know, and like, yes, it had Ozaki doing all of her cheating stuff with the chain and everything. Like, it was whenever Ozaki's in there, it's just blatant. She barely even tries to bother to
Oh
make
yeah.
it plausibly
It's not even
distracting.
bumping the ref. She's just like, what, just disqualify me if you want to. I don't care.
Yeah. And then I thought the last couple minutes was zones, and I thought that Hideki and the Evil Girls might actually win this at one point.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised they lost. Although, like, look, giving Hideki a win here wouldn't have been a bad idea. Like, because the only possible result if they were to win was Hideki pinning Suwama. Because Ozaki and Yukihi aren't doing
No.
jobs to wrestlers only about a little over a year into their careers.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. Although I could have also seen, well, actually, Suwama is definitely getting pinned on that team, but I could actually absolutely see him like get pinned by Zones or Chi-Chi as well. I think he would be willing to do that.
I think actually he would be willing, if they like stacked him and they both got on top of him or something.
Yeah, absolutely, he would do that.
I could see him actually doing that at this point in his career, I think. But yeah, so but hopefully this is like the door has reopened to Evolution back on All Japan shows.
Yeah, I think that's very safe to say. And like I said, I feel like we're gonna see Shuji Ishikawa again on an All Japan show within this year.
Quick update. One thing I did notice, because I saw a post from Zones on Instagram with her schedule, and Evolution is going to 2 shows a month at Shinkiba.
Ooh.
They started in May. They had 2 Shinkiba shows. And for the rest of the year, all the way to December, they have 2 shows a month in Shinkiba, which I thought was interesting. And now they're doing like, they sort of have now like Momoka Hanazono and Aki Shizuku affiliated to Evolution now. So they're going to like 5 matches a show instead of like the usual like 3 or maybe 4 with like Dan versus, it's like the Evolution 4th match was like Dan Tamura versus some like indie guy.
Yeah.
For a while. But now they're like solidly going to like up to 5 matches per show and 2 shows a month. So I thought that was a notable expansion of their thing.
I mean, what they really should be doing is they should just be completely ruthless. Just take whoever has like a shred of talent that is still in Actress Girls and just move them to Evolution and just dump the Actress Girls.
Hey, it's open for the picking, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if any of those Actress Girls want to be pro wrestlers.
Yeah, that's true. They're not
Which-
pro wrestlers. They are just playing pro wrestlers. I forgot that's the gimmick.
Which, well, to be fair, I don't know how many of them left actually want to be pro wrestlers. Like I said, that Marino Saihara is like an actress part-time, or maybe even full-time, and she's a part-time wrestler, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, well, how many of them actually want to become full-time pro wrestlers that are left? You know, they'll probably another like over the next year or 2, they'll probably take in another 20 trainees though.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
Actress Girls way. So
that's generally how that. Yeah, they'll replenish their stock and then they get raided by Marigold again.
Yeah. And then next up, Kuroshio Tokyo Japan defeated Yuma Aoyagi in 11 minutes and 10 seconds with Ikeman Slash. Well, Paul, I'm sure you have a lot to talk about in this match.
Yeah, I mean, I will say
it. I want to start with it. I mean, it was okay. It was a fine match, but like, how do you feel about the other things in this match?
I mean, I will say, so first of all, it nearly broke my heart when he came out, and I thought he wasn't gonna do the entrance, and then he did actually do it. But I feel like we might be coming to an end of the like Jiro entrance now.
Yeah, because we're in the
you can't really do that when you're like, when you're like a cheating heel, right? Like that
I
doesn't
gotta
work
say-
anymore.
In defense of Jiro, he's pretty good at drawing heel heat.
He actually is, yes. Because that's kind of what's been happening throughout this entire like Yuma feud, right? That's what drove him over the edge, was like him actually getting booed against like Yuma, because Yuma is just better at like doing his shtick than he is.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think is an actually like really cool like way to like do the feud. It's just like you're facing off against this guy who is like has been a former champion, and you're just like the goofy comedy guy who just wants to entertain people, and then this dude comes in and he's just better at the thing that you're known for.
Mm-hmm.
And that driving you over the edge is actually it's a very logical thing. It makes a lot of sense.
Sure.
I just don't like. I am somewhat scared that he's just gonna become like all Japan's evil, right? Or that he's basically bringing back like evil might be the wrong comparison here. I think actually maybe like voodoo murderers, like Suwama maybe is the better comparison here. Well, like
they're not gonna
we just
belt out
got
Jiro.
rid of them, and now he's kind of doing that.
I mean,
I don't know.
well, okay, so the next Korakuen, June, whatever, which will have the next Triple Crown match, by the way. We'll get to that in a minute. They're going to have a no DQ match.
Mm-hmm.
Yuma Aoyagi versus Darkseid, Hiroshi Tokyo Japan, or whatever. I assume that Yuma's going to win that match, right?
I mean, yes, he should be. Because, I mean, basically one of the reasons why, like, Jiro won here is because, like, Yuma has just been eating his lunch constantly, so he kind of needed a win.
Oh,
and
yeah.
otherwise he would have looked like even more of a joke than he already was. But still, Yuma Aoyagi is one of your, like, top guys in the promotion. So you can't just have him, like, get super bogged down in this feud either.
Well, here's the thing. And I was, excuse me, to Steve. Here's the thing. This is a real monkey paws thing because people are like, oh, what are they doing with Yuma Aoyagi? What are they doing with Yuma Aoyagi? Well, you've put him into a programming. Here you go.
He has a feud now. It's with Jiro.
You know.
It's with heel Jiro.
Yeah.
Which I don't think has Jiro. I don't think he's ever been a heel previously. He never was one in Wrestle 1, unless I'm forgetting something. So we will see how this goes in ring. Because I didn't even mind the match for the most part.
No.
I even like the I actually even like the structure of like basically how like Jiro kind of like slowly like went more and more heelish as the match went on.
Mm-hmm.
And them basically doing like the whole thing of like Jiro brings out the chair and then Yuma takes it away from him and like Jiro like begs off and then Yuma's like the valiant baby face and doesn't hit him with the chair, like gets like punched in the balls for it, and then Jiro just immediately just completely brains him with the chair and all of that. I mean, that's how the match started out as well, right? Where he just tried to attack him from behind and all of that. So like the match structure makes sense and I like it like in isolation. I'm just scared, like what if like Jiro now becomes the main heel in the promotion? I think that would be a really bad idea.
Yep. Oh God, yes.
Yeah.
Well, look, if
God, they're gonna bring back Taru with Jiro.
I was just gonna say, if Nakajima's not coming back, I think Yuma Aoyagi is beating Anzai for that Triple Crown.
Oh yeah, if
And this is
Nakajima
just
isn't
something
coming
to
back,
hide.
then Yuma's beating him. Yeah.
Yeah. But again, hey, look, here's the thing. We're like, what are these people doing in the mid card? Oh, in All Japan, nothing. Well, here we go. So be careful what you wish for.
I mean, that's also still the downside, right? Like, All Japan has a pretty good, like, in terms of quality, it's very good. It's just very shallow. So, what do you do with Yuma Aoyagi if he's not in a tag team or chasing the main title? There isn't really a whole lot left for him to do. I guess maybe that's where, like, for example, All Japan suffers from not having a credible secondary title.
Right,
because, like,
that's an issue.
Yeah, because Noah is like, I don't know, what are we doing with Keno? Let's just have him chase the red belt for a while.
Is it
Whereas,
too late for
what do we do with
necessitating
Yuma?
Gay or TV? Is it too
Yeah.
like I mean Gay or TV was on I felt like they had a chance when you had like Shuji Ishikawa and even like Irie with the title,
Yeah.
but they decided not to go that route.
No. Like, even as much as I like the Tachibana reign, it's not elevating the title in any way. And it never has been a title that like has been elevated in any way, because like even when Jun Akiyama held it, like Akiyama held it for that long to move himself down the card, not to move the title up the card.
Yes. That's so funny too. Yeah, but that was it. So I guess it'll be interesting. But I mean, to me, whatever. You got to make do with what you do in these little mid cards.
Exactly. At least he's doing something. Like I like it more than him like fucking around and completely meaningless undercard. Like if he's still feuding with Jiro a year from now and not doing anything meaningful, then I'm absolutely worried. But for now,
Oh yeah, I would think this would be the blow off because it's like got a stipulation and everything, right? Like no DQ. So one would hope that this is the end. But yeah, if it isn't, that's a problem.
I mean, we were saying that, right? I mean, I'm currently having like Vietnam like flashbacks to Yano versus Suzuki, where that was also a common refrain where it's like, well, this has a stipulation, and it's obviously this has to be the end. And then that feud went on for like 2 years straight.
Yeah. So next up, All Asia Tag Team title skirmish. Dan Tamura, Hikaru Sato, Naruki Doi, and Fuminori Abe defeated Rising Hado, Seigo Tachibana, Musashi, and Seki Yoshioka in 11:58 with the octopus hold from Ayabe on Hayato. So the champion takes the fall, and we have ourselves a new challenger. This again, very great. I thought this was a pretty darn good undercard match. I mean, look at the talent involved, right? Everyone's really good to great in here.
Yeah.
And then you set up what I think could be a really great title match.
And I think Abe might have a chance of winning.
Yeah. Look, I'm still leaning towards Hayato, but I think Abe could win. But it's all Japan, and we need an outsider to hold our junior title.
Exactly. We need at least one outsider champion at the very least, because we don't have any currently.
It's usually the junior title too. Though.
Yes, it is. Like that's been their booking pattern since, at the very least, I'm trying to think how long back that even goes.
Oh God, a decade,
like
maybe?
A while. Yeah, definitely. So it's very much like the guy that you're like homegrown guys at the top. He gets like 1 or 2 defenses. He loses to an outsider, and then he chases the outsider.
Not just your homegrown guy, but I feel like, I mean, I think they had plans for Hado, but some of it felt sort of organic too, right? He worked hard for that spot because he was a little shaky at times too, right?
Yeah. No, definitely. Okay, he's gotten a lot more consistent now than he has been in the past.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, he got to the point where he was ready to be champion. But what I was going to say is, look, he's had the okay, so as of today, it's 83-day reign. So whatever, that title match is in I don't know, I think it's on June 9th or something. It's in Gifu. And so he'll be at still less than 100 days. He's only made 2 successful defenses. That's just so stupid to take it off of him, because he's your guy. He's your junior ace now, because Atsuki has blown out his knee and will be gone until next year probably, right? Like, you just got to.
But how long were Atsuki's and Iwamoto's first reigns?
Not long.
Or even Aoki.
Atsuki's was a decent length. Let's check what was because I got the junior title history here. Atsuki's.
I actually can't look it up because my Firefox wants me to restart for updates.
Okay, so
if I do that, I'm gone from
was 154 days, and he made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 defenses.
Yeah, that is definitely a decent first title reign. Yeah.
Yes, I think so too. And
then Iwamoto.
Not just Iwamoto's first. Iwamoto's first raid was 27 days.
Yeah, exactly. Because that's
He beat at
because
Sushi Aoki for the title, and then lost it to Shuji Kondo, and then Kondo held it for.
Oh yeah, I
68
remember being
Kondo
really
held it
angry
for
about
68
this.
days. He held it for 68 days, made one successful defense against Hikaru Sato, and then dropped it to Iwamoto, who then had a 172-day reign, but with only 2 defenses.
I think I actually wrote a review for that Shuji Kondo match, and I was just cussing constantly. I think.
Yeah. So that was a bizarre way to do. Okay, so his big and Iwamoto's biggest reign was his third, which is 210 days and 4 defenses. And this is in the middle of the pandemic. This is when he beat Susumu for the title.
Yeah.
And defended against Dan, Ikuto Hidaka, Atsuki, and then Fuminori Abe, and then lost to Shima.
Oh yeah, when he refused to put over Francesco Akira at the end of that reign.
Well, that's what we assume.
Allegedly.
Yeah. Well, that I don't know. I think a lot of that was all speculation, just because the weird title bouncing around at that time was like, he wasn't going to do it. I bet you Shima would put over from Akira now for that New Japan payday.
Oh yes, now he would be, or he would have put him over if he could have like convinced him to go to Great.
Oh, for sure. And well, I still want to know how they got Shima to put over Anzai.
Yeah, he did actually. Well, to be fair, but a lot of people have put over Anzai because I think everybody in the scene realizes how much of a special talent he is.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about someone's going to put over Anzai very shortly. I don't even know where to
talk
begin.
about not putting someone over next, though.
NWA World's Heavyweight Championship. EC3 defeated Reiki Honda in 12 minutes and 27 seconds with a modified pump driver.
Yep.
As I said in the Discord, this is the worst All Japan match that didn't involve someone over 60 years old.
Ever or just in like a decade or
of recent vintage. Recent times. I mean, this was really bad.
Yeah, this was awful. This was just absolutely just. At I think what makes it worse is that I think EC3 thought he was doing really well. I think that made it so much worse.
Okay, this is what I see people say, but I wonder, does he just carry himself knowing that if he doesn't act like that, he will look even worse?
I don't know, because it felt genuine. Like,
Yeah.
It didn't feel like him putting on like a promo thing. Like it really felt like he just did absolutely great shit out there. And it just really wasn't. I thought he just got over super well. And I mean, also, this is probably the largest crowd he's worked in front of in a long time.
Yeah, actually, it might be. That's funny to think about, but it's true.
Like, at least since he, like, I don't know how much, like, NWA draws for, like, their pay-per-views.
Oh, it's in the hundreds.
Yeah, so, like, this is, like, the biggest, like, crowd he might have worked in front of since he, like, left WWE, right? Because he didn't go... Did he go back to TNA at least briefly? I don't think he did.
After leaving, no, that was he got cut in probably. Oh, he did very briefly, and he did one match in Impact against Moose where he lost.
Okay, so it's like the biggest crowd since that match, most likely.
Oh, he did a bunch of ROH, but I don't think they were doing 1,300 though.
No. And even the TNA one, I don't know. That depends where they were.
Wait, I found one.
Ooh.
The final ROH
Yeah.
pay-per-view under Sinclair.
Ah, yeah, I know that would have drawn more.
Final Battle 2021.
Yeah, no.
Now,
that
according to Cage Match 1,620.
So not that much more, but still slightly more. But it's the biggest one since then, and
then since then it was like NWA and Control Your Narrative and everything like that. Yeah, but I mean he's physically just shot.
No, yeah, Like he's just literally just all steroids, and that's like kind of like the thing that keeps him going. But his knees are like his knees might be worse than Muto's knees.
I don't know. Well, yeah, but he's not as smart as Muto. I mean, they could.
No,
pass
yeah,
the ball
no,
around
he's
him.
absolutely not as smart as Muto. Yeah.
It's wild. Of course, Paul. We have buried the lead here. One of the greatest tweets of all time.
Yes. You mean the one that people probably already saw because it's going to be the episode title.
At Yasumi_Yashiro, and this is admittedly a Google Translate. EC3, the Reiwa era Tom Magee vibe is amazing. The missile kick is awesome. Paul, I think that might have been Ernest. Truly a Reiwa Tom Magee.
He really is the Reiwa Tom Magee. So who's going to be the Bret Hart that carries him to like a halfway decent match that people will... Oh, wait, it's Kento Miyahara. Well, I gave myself the answer. Or you did as well.
Look.
Yeah.
So I don't... Okay, so we got whatever. Dory Funk and Marty Funk arranged this. EC3 seems to have been happy. NWA tweeted it. He says they kind of hint that he'll be back, but who knows what that really means. Okay, also I'll give Honda. We got to give a little credit to Honda. He tried.
Oh yes. He had nothing to work with.
No, the only semi-decent parts of the match were when he was on offense.
Yeah, it's actually All Japan uploaded like highlights video for the show as well. No. And well, no, but like the highlights for that match were like all things Honda did except for the finish.
Oh my god, that's so funny. Yeah, I mean, look, I sort of was thinking to myself, what am I going to say about this match? And I can't believe I'm about to say this, but I will tolerate him to return as long as this ends with someone in All Japan winning that NWA title.
Yeah,
even if it's not Kento.
Yeah. Oh yeah, fair. Even if it's like I don't know, like Nakajima comes back, or like this is like the thing they do. Like we were just talking about them not having a believable secondary title. Like if you want to put that belt on Yuma because like Nakajima's back, say like you're still like,
oh yeah, that's also
right.
Yeah, and Yuma could work in an American audience easily.
Absolutely, he's absolutely gonna get himself over like instantly. Because he just has the charisma to do that.
Anyway, the point is, I don't. If this is ending with an All Japan wrestler holding the title, fine. But otherwise, go away.
A waste of time. Yes.
I will suck it up to get to that point. But otherwise, it is a waste of time.
Yeah, but I do feel like that. I think there is a decent chance of that happening because why else are we doing this?
Why else are we doing this? And why else are like, well, there's an NWA wrestler in the next match, but there's other people that I would rather see.
Yeah,
type thing, right? Even from the NWA in All Japan. So let's go to the next match. World Tag Team Title. Jun Saito and Rei Saito defeated Pero and Odinson. The end in 11 minutes and 56 seconds when Jun pinned Odinson after the sudden impact. Now it's just called the Doom because you can't call it the Doomsday Device. But we also want to give it a little spin of related to the Saito, so we'll just call it the Doom. I thought this got a little sloppy towards the end, but I thought it was a solid match with the big guys beating each other up, and the crowd was actually really into this for the most part too. So I thought it was successful from what I expected, more or less. It's what it needed to be, I guess.
Yeah,
right?
Especially considering that Pero is just done. Basically,
he's a little shaky.
Yeah,
actually, he's actually in better shape than I thought. But when it comes to a lot of those more complex things, he's a little shaky.
Yeah, like he was motivated as well. I think that's one of his issues as well. But he was very clearly he was very happy to be back in Japan. So he did.
Yeah, they
as much as he could.
I mean, hell, you give Odinson a singles run in this company. I think.
Yeah, I think really the only thing that stopped that as well was the pandemic, because they were super, they were that's the funny thing, right? Like the End is a tag team that it was a faction at that time, but it formed in Evolution, or not in Evolution, in Evolve. But they teamed the way they teamed the most was in All Japan.
Yeah.
Like they had like 5 matches in Evolve, and then they like did like 4 or 6 like tours of all Japan after that. So yeah, no, I Odinson is definitely someone I think you can bring back. Paro, I mean, if you want to bring him back for like a real world tag league, I think you can do that as well.
Like they got ambitious, and I understand why, because it's like the semi-main event and it's a title match.
Mm-hmm.
But if they didn't do all those like crazy double team spots, I think Paro would have looked better.
Yeah, that's not his forte. And I mean, weirdly, also not really the Saito's forte as much as a tag team, right?
Well, I mean, they are still a little clunky too, even though I still think that people think they blow more spots than they actually do.
But they're not like
but they never really blow that many spots.
No. And they're good tag wrestlers, but they're not good at double team spots, if that makes sense.
Other than the double choke slam, no.
Yeah, they're really good at that, but then otherwise they're actually not that good at doing like despite the fact that they're twins as well.
Yeah.
So like they're weirdly bad at coordinating. Like they're good at like doing things separately and like building a good match structure as a team, but they're not actually good at coordinating with each other to do a move together, which is weird. But look, I mean, I'll take it as long as they're good at like other things. But you'd think at least that twins would be very good at like coordinating a move together, but for some reason they aren't.
No. And then after the match, Paul, so the rookie comes out after the match, and Paul, I thought he was gonna challenge them to a tag match with the mystery partner.
I did as well. I was so excited.
I was like, is this gonna be a Speed Bustle versus the Saitos match?
No, I mean, I didn't go there as much as I want that because it would be so good. But like, I just know that Yoshino because Yoshino absolutely would if he could. He just can't anymore. That's the problem.
Well, I know he did that 5-minute exhibition with Sheeman, but I thought he was like, I'm gonna have to come out of retirement because I blew all my money in bad investments or something.
I mean, but that exactly tells you that he just literally is physically completely unable to do that.
Right, because he would have done
because he absolutely would have if he could.
Yeah, to make the money. Yeah, a good point. But no, it turns out that Doi's mother's maiden name was Saito.
So he's now Naruki Saito. He's the third Saito brother.
In a very Dragon Gate-esque gimmick, I suppose.
Yeah. Okay, I mean, that's the thing, right? I mean, I love Dream Warriors. Everybody loves Dream Warriors. But should they just do like an adapted version of We Are Jimmy's, but it's just We Are Saitos?
Maybe when they come out as a unit.
Yeah, you bring like you rename like Seigo Tachibana into Saito Tachibana.
I will say though, I think though that this is actually a really like smart idea because like Doi can be that glue that could hold together these multi-mans in ways that the Saitos just can't.
Actually, yeah, that's a good point.
Right.
Because my thing was like, because Doi is obviously like an all-time great promo. So my thing was like, well, but the Saitos actually are decent promos now as well. So do they really need like another mouthpiece? But I do think actually, putting like Doi with them so he can like keep the like 6-man or 8-man tag matches together a lot better. I think, that's a good role for him.
I mean, I have a huge soft spot for Ryuji Hijikata. He's Naruki Doi.
Yeah. I mean, Doi is an all-time great at like 6-man tag wrestling.
Exactly.
It's just
right.
a fact.
So as a unit, that it's like he can fill in those sort of things that the Saitos, they don't have and everything like that. So it's a good thing. But the unit realignments are not over. But
no, and it's also just real quick before we get to that. Again, I mean, there is another unit realignment that is even worse for Hokuto Mori, but it's definitely not great for him that like Doi just. I mean, Suzuki abandoned him already, but Doi also abandoned him for like the Saitos.
Oh, that's right. Yes. So, well, I mean, Hokuto's got that little thing with Kuma Arashi. And
Yeah,
they could use a leader. Wink, wink.
actually, yeah. Especially since like Ashino had problems with Arashi after that match as well.
Yeah. So yes, but finally to the main event, and the match you're all been waiting for the Triple Crown. Yuma Anzai defeated Kento Miyahara in 26 minutes and 48 seconds with the Gimlet to make his first successful defense of the title. Paul, I'm just going to say this. I was like somewhat surprised he used the Gimlet here because the Gimlet like disappeared after like the second show of the Champion Carnival.
Yeah.
So it still exists. That was my big takeaway from this match. No, but seriously, this is an incredible match, one of the best matches of the year, and it was a star-making performance. And Anzai might have even outshined Miyahara here.
Yeah. So this was amazing.
Incredible.
I mean, with the Gimlet, I think what would be a good idea if you don't put it on the same level as like a burning hammer, obviously, but you do make it like, like your like big match finisher essentially. And then can figure out something else for like
But
your other
Anzai
matches.
needs a better regular finisher than a German.
Yes, that too. Or like the weird like hold your face until you tap out thing that he does.
Well, that's fine. I don't have a big issue with that.
Yeah. No, but aside from that, but like the match. Yep, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say I don't have an issue with that because it was like a move that Misawa and Fuji used and everything like that. But
Yeah. I mean, he got it from Fuji. Like,
yeah.
but the match, I agree. The match was absolutely amazing. Just the atmosphere was great. All Japan again on like a shoestring budget, just regularly just puts out the best video packages in the business. I don't know, like they have to have someone that is just like so passionate about this stuff.
Okay, I'm glad you brought up the video package because yes, those All Japan video packages are incredible on a shoestring budget. But also, I forgot to write this down on the run sheet because we need to talk about the video packages for the big Kento matches, probably going back to like when Yuma Aoyagi beat him to retain the Triple Crown back in October. All of them have had like a clip of Nagata beating Kento, or then as things progress, like basically Nagata beating Kento and then like Kento losing. So they are clearly leaning into this losing streak that Kento is coming up. Well, with the exception of the Champion Carnival, but when it comes to the Triple Crown, Kento is coming up unsuccessful. So I think this is leading to a redemption arc.
Oh, absolutely. That was actually going to be my point as well. He is 110% winning whatever next Triple Crown match he has. Because he has now lost 4 Triple Crown matches in a row. He lost the title to Nagata. He lost to Yuma Aoyagi. He lost to Katsuhiko Nakajima. And now he's lost to Yuma Anzai as well. So that's 4 Triple Crown matches in a row where he lost. So like as much as he is like the most established guy that they have and all of that, like he does kind of need to win this next Triple Crown match because otherwise
I agree. Yeah. You're gonna Tanahashi him, and he's not even like he's only 35.
Yeah, exactly. So
right? Here's I'm gonna go into a quick aside in New Japan booking, but look, they beat Tanahashi too much once they moved him down the card.
Yes, yeah, they were very quick to like move him down basically.
So I don't know if Shota Umino beat Hiroshi Tanahashi. I know it's his health and everything, but everybody's or his like physical condition. But that's the same with all wrestlers. To me, beating him doesn't mean what it could, right? No. You could at least be a little more protected. You don't have to have him win, but you just don't have to have him eat as many losses. And I just don't want that to happen to Miyahara at 35 years old.
Now, to be fair, like to come to New Japan's defense at least a little bit is obviously Okada was supposed to be the guy that does all of that, and then he was like, "Nah, I'm gonna fuck off and like earn money in the US instead." But like your point still stands. But like now, all New Japan is like left in this position where it's like, well, who's gonna put over the new guys?
It's not gonna mean much.
Yeah, but I feel like with Kento, like I very much feel like he's gonna win whatever match, like Triple Crown match he has next, and I do still think that is going to be Nakajima
on New Year's Eve.
Yeah, I think they're just gonna run. I think they're just gonna run it back in the Yoyogi, and he's gonna beat him. Like you have like a full like arc there. I think it makes a ton of sense. And here's the thing, because it might also be that like all Japan isn't certain if Nakajima is coming back. So like him beating Yuma in Yoyogi also still works very well.
For sure. My only pushback is I'm pretty sure that All Japan knows that Nakajima is either coming back or not. I don't think it's a question mark for them.
Okay, fair enough.
Because that just wouldn't make sense, right?
I mean, that's the thing, right? You never know because he's not on a contract. So he can't tell them something, but, he's not on a contract, so he could technically do whatever the fuck he wants.
Sure.
So I would keep Yuma Aoyagi as a backup plan just in case he fucks you over.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And he's there for sure. Right.
Yeah.
So.
But the match itself, absolutely amazing. Like just.
Oh, that when Anzai gave him the shutdown.
That was such a good looking shutdown as well. Like, holy shit.
and the look on Miyahara's face.
Yeah.
That
was the whole story of the match, or like coming in as well, right? Kento was like, yeah, kid, I know you're talented, but I'm Kento Miyahara. Obviously, I'm going to win. And then the story of the match basically became where Kento slowly but surely realizing like, oh no, the kid is really good. Oh no, I might have fucked up here.
I like the angle was you couldn't see how Kento exactly landed, but it looked like it was on a very high angle.
Yeah.
That German. So yeah. Interesting that they saved the kick out of the shutdown for Jun Saito and not Anzai.
Yeah, but I feel like that's something you can save for like the future as well.
What I think
that's something you can save for like another like champion. Like I think that's like a champion carnival final in like 2 years down the line.
Well, what I was going to say is what I think will probably happen is like Kento will get the Triple Crown back, and then he'll defend against Anzai. And then they'll have another match after that, and then Anzai will kick out of the shutdown.
Yeah, and I could very much see that.
Kento will beat him in their next match, and then after that, which would be their fourth match, singles match, or maybe they had one earlier. I can't remember when Anzai was.
I think they did. Yeah, they had one that was like, wasn't that like Kento's like homecoming or something, or anniversary or something like that?
No, I knew about that one. I'm talking that was last September 1st, 15th anniversary.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But I'm talking about even before that. I don't remember off the top of my head.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Because again, like he's not. You have to remember a few minds. He hasn't been around for that long.
No. Yeah, we're still less than 2 years in.
Yeah, exactly. So if it's not something he did last year, it unlikely happened before.
Yeah, we're 20 months in on this.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I think Anzai will kick out of that shutdown one day, but I think it will be in a couple of matches, singles matches between them from now. And then after the match, Ryuki Honda, Ren Ayabe, and Rising Hado all came out, and then they formed. Well, New Period maybe has become a faction.
Yeah,
like Next Stream was a tag team, then a faction.
I just hope that doesn't mean that Ryuki Honda has the same career path as Jake Lee.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
I hope not. And of course, Hideki came out, touched the Triple Crown, and then went directly to the back. But we were all expecting that. And like I thought he was going to be the first challenger because he got that win on that final block night.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I know. I feel like everybody felt that one coming as a match.
Yeah. Because I thought, look, between Honda's out of the running, I think, after losing to EC3.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I know. I mean, I think it's pretty clear who are going to be the next title defenses. Because it's Anzai
and Ray.
Yeah.
You know what, Paul?
Like, they have the big Sendai show coming up as well.
Yep. Well, here's a couple of things. First, Paul, after watching how this went over, I'm like, maybe this reign should last longer than I thought it should.
Really?
Yeah.
How long would you put it then?
I had him penciled in 2 defenses. I'm thinking maybe 3 or 4.
I mean, obviously, I think he's getting to 3. I think he's getting to 3 because
I do
he's
not-
defending
I
it
do
against
not-
Hideki. And then he's going to defend it against the Saito. And to me, he's losing it to Nakajima after that.
Possibly.
Nakajima or Yuma Aoyagi, basically.
Yeah. Okay, so a part of this, they announced, for some reason they did a Paul, you know what? I think the reason that they did that intermission is to have the main event start later so more people could get there in time.
Yeah.
Does that make sense on a
actually makes
weeknight,
sense.
right?
Yeah, that does make sense on a
And they
weeknight because
open
people get off work.
They open the standing room only seats and everything like that.
Like, weren't they even
I
still selling like tickets during the show even?
Yep. So I think that was the rationale.
Yeah. Because again, this kid is like not a kid. I don't even call him a kid anymore. Like, this man is gonna be like, the guy. Like, he's the guy. Yeah, exactly. Like, he's 25, so he's a man now. So yeah, he's going to be the guy for All Japan as long as he like sticks around.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course. I mean, we all suspected it, but like after that performance,
yeah.
I mean,
he's getting there even faster than we thought he would be.
Yeah,
because we were like, well, like,
I still think he needs to project himself a little better.
Yes,
he needs a little more swagger. He needs a little more swagger.
But he's already projecting a lot better than Kaito was during his first reign.
Oh God, yes, he's a better worker than Kaito was. Unless all of his match turned into him getting the shit kicked out of him for 20 minutes. But I don't think that's going to happen.
I mean, that's what Kaito still does today. So
well, it's way more. It was way more blatant in his first title reign.
Yeah.
But
that's the other thing. Kaito's really good at that, though.
Yeah. Well, so is Anzai. I mean, look, Anzai's one of the best sellers in bump. I mean, he doesn't take the bumps are semi crazy, but just the way he takes them, I think, on certain moves are credible. He's one of the best sellers in the business, as far as I'm concerned.
Oh, for sure. And I will say he is already better at Kaito than Kaito at this like comeback of believably bringing it back and making your opponent realize that like you've underestimated them.
Well, I'm going to be a little. Is it brutally honest? Too strong, but Anzai's size helps him.
Yes,
more than Kaito's does.
He does. Yes.
You know,
which is actually one of the reasons why I'm really looking forward to this Hideki match, because like that N1 final against Hideki, like Kaito versus Hideki, was really good, and that was the exact match structure they had there, where like Hideki just beat the absolute shit out of Kaito but he also basically put him over by him just throwing everything he had at Kaito and Kaito just not staying down and then coming back. And like as good as Anzai is at that already, if they do that same match structure, I think that has the potential to be like an amazing match.
I mean, if they just take what Anzai and Hideki did in the Champion Carnival, draw that out to like 25 minutes, I think it could be amazing too.
Yeah. And we really have to kind of like bury the like. I mean, if that match goes down that way as well, I mean, there's always like the off chance that Hideki wins, which I think would be a mistake.
No, I don't think.
No, I don't think so either. But like, if that match goes down that way as well, I think we just really have to like bury the like Hideki is not willing to put anyone over narrative.
Yeah, it's just he's mellowing as a middle-aged dad.
Yeah,
basically.
But then again, he was always willing to do goofy stuff as well, because when he left Big Japan to go to the US, he like handed a giant fork to Abdullah Kobayashi.
Sure, but still, I mean, he's a lot more. Yeah, but I'm talking about a lot more willing to just do the serious big time thing.
Yes, yeah, no. It's definitely willing. Like, I was already like willing to like or ready to like bury that a lot more when he put over Kaito the way he did. Mm-hmm. Especially after Kaito had just come out of like the like Muto stuff and all of that, and then Hideki was just like the guy that put him over the most like that entire year, basically.
Oh, I was going to say about Anzai, the pinky thing. I don't know what is that.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, this is I feel like because he is so new in, and generally guys have like time to figure that stuff out while they're not the champion. So I think that just enhances him trying to like find what his like thing is, right? Because every ace has like a thing that they do. Like Naito like obviously like Okada has like the Rainmaker pose.
Yeah.
Like Naito has his eye thing. Kento has like the chanting. And yeah, Anzai I think is trying to find something like that. And I don't think the pinky thing is it.
It's not quite now.
I don't even know what it's supposed to be.
No, I don't either. But I mean, overall, he's mostly got it, and I assume that
Yeah.
he will continue to get it. Right?
No, yeah. Oh, no. Like from what we've seen, like I feel like he's also like he has that awareness of just realizing when something just isn't working and just moving on from it as well. Like he's not someone that just tries to like brute force things through. Like he has that adaptability to just like I think that's probably the thing that makes me like the most excited about him, not just even like the in-ring stuff and all of that, is him having the smarts to know when something isn't working and adapting it into something that does work.
Mm-hmm. And of course, as we sort of hinted at earlier, this new period team really, I think, hurts Hokuto.
Oh God, yes. Because they were all like hanging out basically. Like it was him and like the Aoyagis and that were like the young guys before. It was never formalized into anything, and now he's just yeah.
And also, remember that cover of Weekly Pro when Anzai won?
Yeah. Yeah, it was the Saitos, Hayato.
Dan. No Hokuto, even though he would be one of the younger guys. I'm sure Atsuki would have been on that cover if he wasn't injured.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
again, that was like the young talent cup, right? It was Hokuto, Dan, Atsuki, and Hayato. Yeah. That was like one of the first things Hayato did in the company.
Yes, it was. Also, they had Atsuki on commentary the whole show.
Mm-hmm.
And
he got a good pop as well when he came out for commentary.
Yeah, and they still have him doing public appearances for the company and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Which is like they're obviously still behind him, and I think that's why you want to keep the title on Hayato the whole time to build to that inevitable return, right?
I mean, I will say Hayato will be the champion when Atsuki returns. I think that's a very safe assumption.
I still think it would mean more if Hayato doesn't lose it between.
Definitely, yeah.
Anyway, Hokuto is just a mid-carder guy now. I mean, I think.
Yeah.
I mean,
he's a great tag worker. I think he's just the problem is it's not like he's even a bad singles worker. It's just that the standard in this company is just so absurdly high.
At the main event, yeah.
Yeah.
He had stayed a junior, but like he's not flashy. That would hurt him. And like, okay, Dan is not that flashy, but his style like is unique enough.
Yeah.
Right. He just like throws lariats and shoulder blocks and power bombs and stuff.
And he has that crowd connection as well that Hokuto doesn't have either, except with Hokuto Guy. Because Hokuto Guy loves Hokuto.
Hokuto's got a couple fans.
Yeah. I literally sat next to Hokuto Guy at 2 Kurrikens. So.
That's funny. Look, I mean, if Nakajima comes back, maybe he'll get a boost.
Yeah, I think that helps. I think that's also the other thing where he just feels lost in the shuffle. It's just because he had that whole thing going with Nakajima, and then Nakajima disappeared, and all Japan is just I don't know.
But they dropped that even before Nakajima left, sort of.
It was a bit on the back burner, but I didn't really feel like they dropped it completely.
Oh no, I actually think that Hokuto involved in one of those tags to lead up with the Anzai match. I think because I know Harley Jackson was.
Yeah, I don't remember.
See, because that's one of those things that I did they complete? No, I don't know if they completely dropped it. But let's see here. Look, that was back in March.
hmm
Um,
It feels like forever,
Oh, yeah.
despite the fact that it was 2
Harley
months
Jackson,
ago.
Harley Jackson, Hokuto Omori, and Katsuhiko Nakajima defeated New Period, Roki Honda, and Yuma Anzai, and Fuminori Abe. And that was on March 20th.
hmm
So that was the show right before where Anzai beat Nakajima. So
Yeah.
they didn't completely drop it. Okay.
No. I mean, I will say if Nakajima doesn't come back, or if Nakajima comes back and doesn't do anything with Hoko, then we definitely know he's kind of screwed.
Oh, he's screwed.
Yeah.
He's definitely screwed. Yeah, because they're not even bothering to try to make him as one of the young faces of the company.
No.
So
They're just
that's
kind of
sad.
very happy to just slot him in as like an undercard.
I mean,
guy.
you can put in your, I don't even want to call them conspiracy theories, but like your speculation that he's in the doghouse again or whatever.
I mean, he has been a couple of times. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Seems like a little bit of, like, it's the weird thing, right? Where it seems like a little bit of a troublemaker, but not enough of a troublemaker to like get himself sacked.
Like
basically.
make him like cool.
Yeah.
He doesn't have the cool troublemaker vibe.
No, he really doesn't. He's just the kind of troublemaker that just gets a little bit too drunk and then causes issues.
Okay, so wanted to mention this. They announced at the intermission 3 upcoming Triple Crown defenses. 1, August 3rd, Sendai. We knew that was going to be a big show, not a surprise. But 2 weeks later, on August 17th at Tokyo Arena Tachikawa, which is like out in the western part of Tokyo, like to the west of the special wards. It's going to be a Triple Crown defense there. And then on September 1st, in Fukuoka, there will also be a Triple Crown defense, which is interesting because that's Kento's hometown.
And wouldn't that be the Royal Road winner?
It is not the Royal Road. It's listed as a Summer Action Wars show.
Okay. But like, I'm trying to, but generally the Royal Road is in August, right?
No, it's been ending in September
Ah.
the last couple of years. So
Okay, yeah, that's weird timing.
So Fukuoka, I'm sure Kento will get like some sort of special match, but I don't see him challenging there again. I guess you don't really ever know, but and nothing has been announced for September. No September dates have been announced yet at all, so we don't even know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But, Paul, what do you think of this? 3 Triple Crown matches in a month.
It's a lot. Like, that's a lot more than they used to do at all.
And outside, one is but outside core Tokyo, and then 2 in more different regions. Like, I get doing a title defense in Sendai. They actually were drawing decently in Sendai even before the Saito brothers came. And then of course,
but now you absolutely put a title match there.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, is Anzai still going to be? Is Anzai going to win all 3 of those matches? Or is that where he's going to face Nakajima in one of those, or?
It also feels weird to do that match, and like it almost feels like the Sendai one, but that's a Saito. The other 2 almost feel like too small in a weird way, right? I guess maybe the last, but the September one, I think. Maybe that's the Nakajima defense, and he gets like 1 more defense against, I don't even know, like someone in the like outskirts of Tokyo one.
Well, Paul,
because it also would be very much like a Nakajima thing as a fuck you to Kento to win the title in his hometown.
This yeah, what I was going to say, this Arena Tachikawa, it's Arena Tachikawa Tachihi, which is in like the western suburbs of Tokyo. It has a capacity, it's a basketball arena, but its listed capacity is 3,000. So that's not a small show. Sendai Sun Plaza's got a couple thousand, right?
Yeah. But that makes sense with the Saito, with a Saito, whichever one is gonna probably Ray.
Probably Ray. And then I don't know, this Fukuoka Fukuoka Island City Forum. I don't know how big it is. Let's see if we can find out. It is. Let's see here. Is it another convention center type place?
Might
It
be.
appears to be. Yeah, it's a convention center. So, but you're probably looking at 1,000 to 1,500 there tops, which are like, by all Japan standards, you can do all those things there. You can have a title change in one of those buildings. Really, I don't think it's a big deal.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, so we have conference hall listed at a capacity of 1,300.
I mean, if they put a big enough match on there, they could sell that out. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's a Triple Crown match, yeah. So.
Yeah.
No,
yeah. But I mean, it's like if it's like Hokuto Omori, then
Yeah. But
Or
yeah, it's very ambitious.
Heel
no
Jiro,
question.
Dark Side Kuroshu, Tokyo. If it's Dark Side Tokyo Kuroshu, Japan, then I don't know if that's going to be a big draw.
Yeah. So and then I mean, we talked about some of the upcoming shows on the last episode, but the only real things that have developed since then for these upcoming June shows is like, so alongside the All Asia Tag Title match on June 9th at Gifu, we've got Rising Hado versus Fuminori Abe.
Yes, I'm very much looking forward to that one.
So that looks like it could be I think that will probably be a pretty good show. And then All Japan, let's see if they've announced anything else, but I didn't see anything earlier. Kuma Rashi versus Suwama on June 4th at Shinkiba. And then Hokuto Omori versus Hideki Suzuki.
Yeah, I'm not fancying Hokuto's chances in that one.
And then also announced for June 4th, Yuma Anzai and Ren Ayabe versus Kento Miyahara and Shotaro Ishino. That's interesting.
That's actually very interesting, yeah. Because we're also we talk about like poor Hokuto being lost, but like, what is Ishino doing?
Oh yeah, I know. That's another topic we can discuss. Well, we'll see. I'll wait another month because we'll probably get an idea of him not doing anything soon enough.
Yeah, it seems like we're like very much in like a big like realignment phase at the moment.
Yeah. And then junior title preliminary tag match, Yuma Aoyaki and Fuminori Abe versus Ryuki Honda and Rising Hado. So that's all June 4th at Shinkiba. So those are the sort of latest match adjustments to the upcoming shows here in early June. And of course, June 24th, Monday night, Hideki versus Anzai. Now that'll be interesting to see what they can draw for that.
Yeah.
What kind of?
I have a feeling they're probably going to draw relatively well.
I think it should probably be able to break 1,000. I mean, there's not a whole ton of evidence that Hideki's much of a draw.
No, but I have a feeling though that Anzai is becoming actually a pretty decent draw by himself at this point, because people want to see like the hot new thing.
Yes, that does make sense. So we'll see. But it'll be a good test, right?
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
I feel like Anzai is like too good of a talent that if it did get a little shaky on the attendance, they would not completely cut bait. They would just, get the title off of him, keep pushing him to keep building him up.
Yeah, I mean, again, he's a year and a half, like he's not even 2 years in yet.
Yeah. So
you can't expect him to be a Kento Miyahara level draw, even a Yuma Aoyagi level draw, who they build up for years.
Yes, they did. So that's All Japan. And, we already talked about how there's been significant alignment going on. And I suspect that by our next show, we'll probably be talking about more about who's, moving up and who's getting the shaft, basically, type thing. And I guess our next episode, we'll wait until all those big Noah shows coming up. And then we'll return because we've got some really great looking Noah cards as well, obviously, that I'm very excited for.
That Yokohama show. Yeah.
And this, I'm actually kind of excited for Sugiura and Marufuji versus
Yes.
Greed and
Actually,
Morris.
same.
I think it could be a lot of fun. So, any final closing thoughts, Paul?
Yeah, is Yuma Aoyagi now banned from the Young Guy show because he or not yet, but will he be banned from those shows when he exceeds 10 years in the business?
Oh yeah, because the New Age Chronicles are the 10 years business, so that's how they get around putting on like 37-year-old Seto brother.
Yeah.
We will see, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I could just see them making an exception for Aoyagi.
Or I could actually see them do like a comedy thing where he like tries to like come in and like wrestle on the show and they kick him out because he's no longer eligible.
I can see that too, honestly. That would fit in with the character and everything like that.
Yeah.
So, we'll have to see because they got do they have another one of those announced? I don't know. If it is, it would be in July.
I actually thought like his like 10-year anniversary show was gonna be one of those shows and he's gonna have like a big goodbye to those there. But yeah, we will see if they bring him. I mean, they were well attended, so I would be
New Age
if they don't
Chronicle.
keep him going.
Next New Age Chronicle is July 4th.
Yeah, and that's after his 10-year anniversary. So
yeah, which is it's in the next couple weeks.
Next couple of weeks, yeah, because they had like the 3 matches: him versus Honda, him versus Kento, and one more. Was it Hokuto?
Yep. Yeah, it's June 8th. Yeah, and it's Hokuto, Honda, and Kento.
So yeah, we'll see if he's like banned from those shows now going forward or not.
All right. So yeah, I guess that we'll know probably by our next episode because that show will happen and they'll probably announce at least some of the New Age Chronicle card. So for Paul, I'm Gerard, and we'll talk to you in a couple of weeks. Take care.
Hello, Voices of Wrestling listener. Dave Ryan here. Have you ever wondered to yourself how many hidden gems are hidden away inside the last years of World Championship Wrestling? Have you ever asked yourself how many tenuous gags can be made about the name Mike Enos? And have you ever thought about what it sounds like for 2 Irishmen to interpret a very chaotic company through its B show? The answers to all this and more are just a click away. Check out Days of Thunder every second Thursday on the Voices of Wrestling Podcast Network.